A key Republican has come forward to blow the whistle and expose Donald Trump's true nefarious plans for the Kennedy Center. Anyone who values a memorial to a murdered president, or who cares about our nation's cultural and arts heritage, listen up. This is ugly. All the details here on The David Reddish Show. Welcome to the show, my beautiful Occupy Democrats viewers. And once again, thank you to all of you who subscribed this week. We are almost halfway to our new goal of 500,000 subscribers. And remember, when we hit it, we are cracking the bubbly here on the show for a little party. So please, help me out and subscribe to the channel. You will also stay up to date on all the breaking news, like this hideous story. So let's get to it. The Kennedy Center, the premier arts venue for the United States, is back in the headlines again. You will recall that it has been somewhat omnipresent since Donald Trump decided to rename the center after himself, which is illegal, mind you. Only Congress can do that. He also wanted to overshadow the sanctity of the space and its dedication to John F. Kennedy, a president assassinated in office. Ticket sales plummeted, staff quit, and a number of famed artists, including soprano Renee Fleming, the cast of Hamilton, and Philip Glass, all pulled out of performances there. Then, earlier this week, this happened.
Tonight, as audiences decline and artists pull out of performances, President Trump announcing he will shut down the Kennedy Center for 2 years for a top-to-bottom renovation.
It's in very bad shape. It's run down. It's dilapidated. It's sort of dangerous.
The Performing Arts Institution was conceived as a living memorial to President John F. Kennedy. Last year, President Trump declared himself as chairman. And about 6 weeks ago, the center's board, which he appointed, voted to rename it to the Trump Kennedy Center, a new sign going up the very next day. The president now saying the center will close in August for a $200 million makeover.
I'm not ripping it down. I'll be using the steel. So we're using the structure. We're using some of the marble, and some of the marble comes down. But when it's open, it'll be brand new and really beautiful.
Critics note President Trump made a similar pledge when he launched construction for his massive White House ballroom. He ultimately ended up tearing down the entire East Wing. Tonight, members of the Kennedy family outraged. Maria Shriver saying this is all happening because entertainers are canceling left and right, and that the president hopes closing the building will get everybody to stop talking about the fact that everybody's canceling.
Oh, it gets worse. Stay with me. The news of a 2-year renovation for the Kennedy Center sent shockwaves through the artistic world. First, because the center is generally very well maintained and does not need renovation, and also because a number of shows, including the musical versions of Mrs. Doubtfire and Back to the Future, are still slated to perform there and have tickets on sale. It also appears the director of the Kennedy Center, self-loathing Tupperware salesman Rick Grenell, was also not consulted prior to the announcement. And now another Republican is speaking up and exposing Trump's real plans for the center, plans which could have much more far-reaching effects than previously estimated. Let's have a look, shall we? The Raw story now reports that Republican Rick Wilson, the co-founder of the Lincoln Project and a longtime Trump critic, has published a lengthy essay on his Substack detailing Trump's real plans for the Kennedy Center. Wilson's Substack is by subscription only, so unfortunately we can't show you the full article here. However, we do know the thrust of Wilson's argument. Trump plans to completely demolish the Kennedy Center this summer. And even more shocking are his reasons why. Wilson writes, quote, "I regret to inform you that on July 5th or thereabouts, bulldozers will slam into the Kennedy Center and start destroying it. Not because Trump has a plan, not because it needs to be razed, just to hurt people. It's the same plan as the East Wing. Destroy something beloved and replace it with a trashy substitute, a corrupt echo of something better, all while reveling in the same pain he enjoyed as far back as his destruction of the historic facade Bonwit Teller in Manhattan in 1982. Wilson then goes on to connect the Kennedy Center demolition to that of the White House East Wing, writing, quote, "Trump believes the imaginary DC skyline of his dreams will be what remains of him when he's gone. Like Hitler's vision of Spears Berlin or Stalin's fantasy of Moscow, skylines crafted by dictators rarely come to pass, and even when they do, they're remembered with a sense of shame and longing for what came before," close quote. So there it is. Trump's vanity. And what Wilson says does make a good deal of sense. From redecorating the Oval Office with tacky gilding, to destroying the East Wing to build a mega ballroom, to the Kennedy Center, to his obsession with expanding the United States to annex countries like Canada and Greenland, to his obsession with the Nobel Peace Prize, Trump is trying to force a legacy on us all. He wants to build a giant monument to himself and to use his cruelty as a means of showing off his power in the process. But I want to take this one step further here. Wilson correctly draws parallels between Trump's remaking Washington to Hitler's remaking Berlin. And what's most interesting to me is how Trump's urgency mirrors that of Hitler. We know now that part of the reason for Hitler's extremism and recklessness, moves like declaring war on Britain, the United States, and invading the Soviet Union, came about because he knew his health was failing, likely due to syphilis. He knew he didn't have much time, so he needed to hurry to see his vision of an expanded Germany realized. And Trump is also behaving with similar rushing and recklessness. It's almost like he knows he doesn't have much time, either because he fears being impeached and removed from office, or because he knows he doesn't have long to live. If you watch our show, you know that I've long argued that Trump shows major symptoms of both cognitive and physical decline, likely due to mini-strokes and congestive heart failure. Thus, we could be witnessing Trump's last stand at a legacy beyond one of violence, failure, and embarrassment. But here's the catch, Donald. One day you will be dead, and the world will work to cleanse itself of your filth. The gold will be stripped, your name will be torn down, and the American people will look on you with disgust. Forever. Always. And there is nothing you can do about it. Your nightmare, one way or the other, will fade, and America will rise to hate you for all eternity. I'm David Reddish.